Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rickie and I'm a dance form makeup artist. I recently put up a poll on my RickieT.Beauty Instagram, I'll put it up right here, asking you guys which tutorial you want me to recreate, either a purple and silver look or a gold and black look. And the purple and silver one, it was quite close, but I'm kind of glad that one was chosen because I've been wanting to do a look like this for a while. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is RickieT.Beauty. I try to post as many looks as I can and short tutorials on there. And I also post pictures of the work I do on my clients if you want to check that out. I also take competition bookings there. If you ever want your makeup done by me, you can check to see if I'm going to a competition near you. Very quickly, I'm just going to pull my hair back before we start the look. Okay, I'm back. We're ready to start. I just realized when I was throwing my hair in this Latin pony that I forgot in the intro to mention that all the photos that I chose for the poll were by Image Compliment. Just wanted to give them credit for all the images because they are a big inspiration to me. Okay, we are ready to get started. Today I'm going to be using the Anastasia Dark Brown Brow Powder Duo. I'm going to be using a combination of the lighter shade near the inner part of my brows and the darker shade on the outer portion of my brows. And I'm going to be taking that on a Sigma E15 brush. Now that my eyebrows are filled in, I want to clean up and correct them by carving them out. So to do that, I'm going to go in with the P.Louise base in the shade Rumour 0. This is basically pure white, so when I put it on, it's going to be very bright and I'm going to blend it out to also use it as my eyeshadow base. And I'm going to be using an e.l.f. smudge brush. It looks like this, very short, stiff brush, but this is going to help to keep the control with the product while I'm carving out the brows. Okay, now that they're quite carved out, as you can see, I'm gonna pretty much take the same brush and start blending it down onto the eyelid without any excess product yet. Okay, now that I blended it out pretty far, I'm going to take a little bit more of the white and spread it all over the eyelid so I can use it as an eyeshadow primer. Now that you look quite funky, I'm gonna go over with my Morphe JH08 brush. This has no product on it. I'm just gonna kind of smooth out the base a little bit and blend everything together. Alright, now before we go in with the tape, I'm going to do a little bit of brow highlight, and because this is basically, as you can see, a pure white base, for that I'm going to be using a pigment from Peach's Makeup. This is in the shade Prin, and this is basically their pure white pigment. That's what it's called. It looks like this. Because the white base is already quite sticky because we haven't set it with anything yet, I'm just going to go straight in with the pigment on to my eye instead of putting a glitter base for it to stick on because my base is still already a little bit sticky. To do that, I'm going to be using the Morphe JH08 brush. It's a tiny little brush like this, quite flexible, really good for packing pigments in very small places. And as you can see from one side compared to the other, I place it mostly just at the highest point of the brow bone, trying to fade it out to the end a little bit. Don't bring it in too close because we don't want so much attention there so close to the bridge of your nose. And I'm gonna do that on the other side. And that's what it looks like with the brow highlight. Now it's time to apply the tape. Today I'm gonna be using regular Scotch tape. One very important thing to do is after you take your piece, put it on the back of your hand and take it off at least 2 times so that when you put it on your skin and when you take it off, it doesn't irritate your skin as much. A few tips for applying the tape is that you want the edge of the tape to go just a little bit past your brow bone. If you only do it to the end of your eyebrow, you risk that when you're done doing your eyeshadow and you take it off, that there's a little bit of fallout even above your eyebrow, which obviously you don't want. So make sure you put it past the tail of your brow just a little bit. Also, depending on the look you're going for, you can do right at the corner of the eye, you can apply the tape, or you can leave a little bit of space. So when you're doing the lower lash line, it connects a lot more easily to the upper lash line than trying to connect it exactly to the corner of your eye. Today, for the entire look, every eyeshadow is going to be just from one palette. So this is a one palette look, and that is going to be the Morphe James Charles palette. So the first shade we are going into today is the pure white shade. It is called Flashback, and I'm taking that on a Real Techniques under eye setting brush. Usually I use this for setting my under eye, but it's really good for just patting on a quick base shadow before you go in with any colors. So putting that on my brush and quickly patting it right on just as a base. Our eyeshadow base is already white, so this is just going to make it look a little softer and help to stop it from creasing. Now, using a Morphe M441 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Punch Me, which is this shade right here, and I'm just going to put that right in the center of my crease. Also kind of blending it in with the highlight just a little bit. Now I'm going in with the shade Mary, which is this shade right here, kind of neutrally reddish pink shade. And I'm taking that on a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH08 brush. And I'm gonna put it in the same place as I did the first shade. Make sure you're bringing it all the way to the edge of the tape, so when you take the tape off, it's a nice clear line where their shadow ends. Okay, now we're gonna do something daring. We're gonna go in with the very last shade in the palette. This is called Skip, and we're just gonna go in with a tiny bit of this because it is very bright. We're taking that on a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH35 brush. Again, very similar to the last brush, but the bristles are a bit shorter, so it is a smaller brush, so color is going to be more compact like the last one. And I'm just going to tap a tiny bit on the edge of my brush. You can see how bright that is. Tap off the excess. And very slowly I'm going to start putting that into my crease, just so that when we keep layering the other shades on top of each other, this is not going to be seen so much. It's not going to be crazy bright, but it is going to bring a little bit of color right where the crease is blending in to the, what is it called? Brow bone highlight. All right, now we're gonna go in with a little bit of darker pink. We're going in with the shade Love That, and we're gonna be sticking with the same brush that we just used. So I start mostly just on the very outside, then I start to blend it more towards the middle. So this is the brush that we just used. This is what we use for the pinks. Now I'm going to be dipping into my Morphe M433 brush, which is the same thing as my MAC 217, but I use this for dark purples and I use this for black. We're going to use both today, but we just used this. Now we're going to use this brush, and then we'll go to the MAC 217 a little bit later. All right, now we're gonna dip into these two purple shades over here, Escape and Single. So we're gonna mix these two together and put them in the outer crease. Okay, now that those purples are blended in, we're gonna use the same brush, Morphe M443, and we're gonna go in with the shade Benny, which is this dark shade right here above the black. Always tap off the excess first and start at the very outer corner, and then once that gets more blended, you can blend it up into the crease a little bit more. Okay, now that that dark purple is blended in, we're gonna do the exact same process with the black shade, and this is called Spooky. This is the MAC 217, exact same as the Morphe M433, which I just used. This is just a different brand. So how much black you want to use is completely up to you. I always try to do less because even when I say I'm going to do less, I end up putting more black, but sometimes it gets too dark and I don't like it anymore, and it's kind of hard to fix when you have too much black. So always start with a little bit, and right now, even though I barely did just a tiny bit on this side, I'm already going to go to this side because usually when you do the other side and you even things out, you might decide, oh, that's already dark enough, I don't want to add any more. But once you do both sides, you can see the picture better. But if I just keep adding till I think it's good, and then I step back and I'm like, oh wow, that's way too dark. So I always recommend doing a little bit, blending it, and a little bit blending it so you can see and then decide how much you want more or to keep it that way. I'm going in with the Peaches and Cream glitter base. Now I'm taking that on the Morphe M434 brush, and it gets very sticky very quickly, so you're going to want to apply it quite quickly, obviously on the inner corner. So when I open my eye, I want it to be above my crease, so when the glitter is applied, that you can still see the glitter when my eye is open. Okay, now going in with the Peaches and Cream pigment in the shade Disco. It's basically just a pure silver pigment. Looks just like this. Going in with the exact same brush, I'm just going to use whatever's in the cap. And that is what it looks like all applied. And I just kind of blend it into the black by patting whatever I have left on my brush into my closer to the outer corner. Glitter is my life, if you can't tell. Okay, now that that is on, I'm going to quickly add some liner. I'm going to use my Kat Von D tattoo liner and just do a simple cat eye. Now I'm just going to quickly take a makeup wipe and just clean up anything underneath my eyes. Now I'm going to apply my lashes. Today I'm just going to be using some generic eyelashes that I found on Amazon. I always like trying out new lashes from Amazon to see when I'm going to find the perfect ones. And since these are a little bit long, I just took some off and I just cut them to make them a little bit shorter in length so they'll fit my eye. So I'm just going to apply glue and put those on. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the lashes on. I'm going to quickly do my face makeup off camera and I will be right back to finish the lower lash line. Okay, I am back. Now my face makeup is done. If you want to see how I do my face makeup for competitions, I can definitely make an in-depth video on that for you guys, or there are other videos on my channel I will link in my bio that show how I do my face makeup. Alright, starting with my Morphe JH08 brush, I'm going to go in with the medium purple shade right here, and I'm just going to quickly brush that across my whole lower lash line. Now, using the same brush, I'm going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of the pink shade that we used, and we're going to do the same thing. Alright, now that it is quite blown out, I'm going to take my Morphe E18, which is a pencil brush, and I'm going to go into this very dark purple shade that we use called Benny. And I'm going to focus this mostly on the outer corners, but still brushing it across the whole lower lash line. As you can see, just by adding that dark purple on the outer corners, you can see how much bigger this eye looks compared to this eye. And you may like that, you may hate it, it's up to you. If you want your eyes to look bigger, definitely accent more darkness on the outer edge of your eye like we did in this look. Alright, now going in with my Morphe JH08 brush. This is another pencil brush, but this is quite flat on the top. We're gonna go in with the black shade of the palette called Spooky, and we're just gonna take that right on the lower lash line on the outermost edge to connect the bottom to the top. Alright, now that we have that black connecting the lower lash line to the topper lash line, I'm going to quickly waterline just using my Inglot black gel liner and a Sigma E65 brush. Since we already did our cat eye liner when we did the top liner on the right here, I'm going to be taking my Sephora Color Wink It felt liner that's waterproof. This is, I don't know what the shade is called, but it's just white. And I'm going to be doing the exact same thing, just from the tip right in my tear duct. Just a nice white line because that's what it has in the inspiration photos. Okay, and finally to finish off the eyes, just do a quick coat of lower lash mascara. You can use any mascara. I recommend waterproof, but since I'm just gonna wash this off right after, I'm not gonna use waterproof, but for competition I always do. This is the Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara, and just doing a quick layer on the bottom lashes, and we are done with the eye look. Alright, and a lower lash mascara is on. As you can see, I always feel like lower lash mascara really pulls the look together. For highlighter, I'm going to be using the Blushing in Bali palette by BH Cosmetics. And I'm going to be using a combination of the middle shade and the lightest shade. I'm taking that on a Morphe JH09 brush. Okay, now that we have highlighter on, I'm going to be doing a pink lip for this look. I'm going to be doing kind of an ombre lip using two shades. So I'm going in with the Marc Jacobs lipstick in the shade Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. This is just one of those lipsticks I got in a Sephora gift last year. I'm going to be using that on the outside. And on the inside, I'm going to be going with the, I believe this is Maybelline Matte Mandate. 712 is the shade. And this is very bright. So this is going on the inside, the Marc Jacobs is going on the outside. And using my lip brush, I'm just going to take the end of this on my brush so it can blend better. And finally, you can do this step or not. Most of the time I use a clear gloss, but today I'm going to be using the Ulta Super Shiny Lip Gloss. I've had this for so long and I haven't used it. And this is just lip gloss with a bunch of sparkles because, like I said, I'm obsessed with sparkles, so just the more the better. Alright you guys, this is the completed look. I really hope that you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. I really enjoyed doing it for you guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you want to see next from me down below. If you want to catch up with me, my personal Instagram is RickieT.Dubovyk and my beauty Instagram, like I said in the intro, is RickieT.Beauty. Thank you so much again to your image compliment for your beautiful makeup look. So I'm so glad I have some inspiration for myself and for my clients. And yeah, that's the end of this video. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I hope you guys liked it and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!